Section 2.4, example 7, dividing by complex numbers. So they want us to divide 2 plus 5i by 4 minus i. So 2 plus 5i, we're just dividing the two, so let's put it in fraction form. 2 plus 5i, dividing that by 4 minus i. All right, in order to do this, what we don't like is having square roots in the denominator. And since I is actually the square root of -1, what we want to do is multiply by the conjugate. That way we could get rid of it. So multiplying both sides by the complex conjugate of the denominator. So complex conjugate of the denominator is going to be 4. There we have minus. This is going to be plus I. And essentially what we're doing is multiplying by 1. It's not changing the value of anything that we have going on here. We're just multiplying by 1. So here we multiply these two binomials. Remember, just treat these as if they were binomials. Treat the I as if it were a variable, and then we'll worry about the I squared in the next step. So first, multiplying our 2 plus 5i times 4 plus I. We're dividing that by 4 minus I times 4 plus I. All right, starting off with the numerator. So we have 2 times 4. That's 8. 2 times I. That's 2i. 5i times 4. That's 20i. And lastly, 5i times I. It's going to be 5i squared. And we're dividing this by the denominator. So 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times I plus 4i. Negative I times 4 minus 4i. Negative I times I. Negative I squared. So the reason we multiply by the complex conjugate is because when we multiply those two, these middle terms subtract out. So we're left with just 16, or this a part squared, and I squared, or b, like negative b. So it ends up giving us no square roots in the denominator. It ends up giving us no i's in the denominator. But in the numerator, we still have some stuff going on. We could add these two together. We did learn earlier that I squared is equal to -1. So we're going to replace that. So let's start with the numerator, 8. We could combine like terms here. That gives us 22i. And we're replacing I squared with a -1. So plus 5 times -1. That's our numerator. And our denominator, those two subtracted out, we're left with 16. And over here, we're left with minus I squared. So minus I squared, we did say was a -1. And now let's clean it up one more time, or a couple more times maybe. All right, so we could multiply those two. So we have 8 plus 22i divided by 16 plus 1. Oh, and that should be minus 5. So we have 8 minus 5 in the numerator that we could combine. 8 minus 5 is going to give us 3 plus 22i. So now remember, we still want to keep it in a plus bi form, and we will. In the meantime, we're just going to leave it like that. But denominator 16 plus 1 is going to give us 17. And this one isn't simplifying whatsoever, but we still have to keep it in a plus bi form. So we're going to separate the first part and the second part. So here we have 3 over 17 plus 22 over 17i, leaving us in a plus bi form. And that's our solution. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. If not, bye.